look after you.
Okay, I'll take that up.
However, I would say two things that a city can do. It can have a leader that clearly understands and supports people being creative, thinking for themselves, and if they fail, that's all right. The creative economy is an economy of a lot of failures. It's an economy, we fail more often than we succeed. And politicians, some politicians have a problem with failure. But you have to send out a message to the creative people that failure on the way to success is okay.
Right.
And the other thing, if I'm allowed to, is that you need some spaces, not expensive spaces, where people can gather and congregate and experiment. I would choose digital media, art, fashion, design, have a lot of talks, seminars, appoint someone to that who is a risk taker, who will cause you problems,
Right.
okay?
Right.
And you will back him or her, and that place will become a focus for the kind of experimentation. And that also will send out a message that Taipei is supporting this kind of activity.
We're going to let the governor be the last to respond.
Sure.
So,
All right.
Dr. Gao, your comment on this?
Well, I was thinking in terms of personal experience as a city resident. Now, I had 3 cities. I happen to have 3 small apartments in those 3 cities. One in Taipei, not in Taipei County yet. Another one in Shanghai, because I spent my childhood about 8 years in Shanghai. Another one is nearby Minneapolis, twin cities in the United States. So I often have time to decide how I'm going to spend my time when I really retire. I suppose one solution will be 1/3 to those 3 places. Then spend the remaining 1/3, or 1/4 rather, then perhaps to other parts of the world.
Yes.
I taught in Copenhagen for 1 year in the 70s. I love that city.
Great city.
I love that
Great
city,
city.
yeah. And I think Taipei County perhaps would have a chance to make another small investment, buy a little apartment in Taipei County, because I spent my childhood there too.
Right.
All right, so now you know the benchmarks. And you have heard the expectations and the rules and everything. Governor?
Well, the residents in Taipei County asked for more, actually. The benchmark's much tougher, higher. Before I came to this meeting, I went to internet. I checked the size of man-made wetland in the UK. I found that the biggest man-made wetland in the UK is 116 hectares. But the man-made wetland we are building now is 300 hectares.
All right.
Almost 3 times bigger than what the UK is building. That's one thing important, because we are probably building the biggest man-made wetland in the world. I mean, why we want to build that kind of man-made wetland with that size? It's because we want to use a creative way, low-cost way to solve our sewage problem, try to clean the river. So we are trying to solve problems, through this cost-effective way, to have creative ideas. We are pushed to have these creative solutions. Or in many aspects, we are facing the same pressure if we're trying to compete with other international cities. For example, clean transportation. I mean, low carbon requirement. In the future, I mean, there is a benchmark. People ask for it, for better living, clean environments. But with the limited project, you must come out with the creative ideas to be cost effective. So the electric car, electric public system is another creative thinking, because we want to do it in a cost-effective way. By doing what? Having the best products in the world, and to try to create markets with Shanghai, Nanking, maybe Hong Kong, or maybe Paris or Los Angeles County in the future. We government try to become liaison, try to create that market share for our product here, so they can have lower cost. Then if we apply those vehicles to our clean public transit system, we have lower budget for that. We can be affordable. Right. They can be affordable. Then we use that product to seduce our residents to changing their driving habits. You don't have to drive your own car by consuming gasoline to work or to any place. You take public transit system. It's much more convenient. It's luxury. It's good for you. It's nice for you. So that's also another creative approach. But I have to admit that we're facing so heavy pressures now for this county government. But we're glad that under such pressure, we can have creativity. Maybe that's another approach.
Well, certainly the free market economists want to make a comment on this.
Yes. Well, I'm convinced, to a large extent, by Governor Chu's very ambitious blueprint. If succeed, you have a chance to make GNP a new name. The old name for GNP is not gross national product, it's garbage, noise, and pollution. Now you're going to make GNP as a great, neat place.
Oh, yes, that's great.
All right.
That's another
Great,
creative
neat
name for
Taipei County.
So from
Great, I love it.
You love it?
Appreciate it. Very good.
garbage, noise, and pollution to great, neat place.
Right.
Now, in your mind, you must have some other cities around as where you would like to make your signature. So what cities do you compare Taipei County to? Vis-a-vis those, what do you think are going to be the competitive advantage of Taipei under your administration?
We try to, go to Singapore, Japan, Copenhagen, or Los Angeles. Try to, go there and discuss those, EP issue, low carbon issue, creative living issues with them. They are very competitive. They all feel that, it's a master trend for them. So we come back to Taipei County, we discuss with those artists, creative people, government officials. We found out that we have to rely on ourselves. Building those competitive, nice environments for those creative people is the first step. And what about the culture here? Atmosphere. That's not, countable, by figures or number. But people can feel it. People can be seduced. I prefer to use this word, encouraged. So that's our approach. But I have to admit that we need to work harder, because after we talked to so many cities around the world, we found out they have a lot of creative ideas. We must catch up. But it's good. It's good. So we have examples. We have competitors. We know we have to work harder. So under such pressure, we can have more and better creative ideas.
All right, we have probably 30 seconds for each of you to have some parting thoughts for Taipei County. Dr. Gao and John?
Global Views ranks 25 cities year after year. And I think after what I hear from Governor Chu, I think your ranking ought to skyrocket next year.
I hope so.
Fantastic. And John?
Well, London became very creative, really, by listening to itself. It developed its creativity before all this was talked about. And I would just say, yes, look around and pick up some ideas, but spend most of your time talking with, listening to, and working with the people who are here. And that is the best way. You have a lot of very talented people here. You're a big population. Start with that, work with them, and you will, by definition, you will be creative.
Good. By definition.
By definition.
Reach that goal.
Thank you very much for joining us in the discussion of how to create a great, neat place. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Wow.
Very good.
Very
Well
good.
done.
You like GNP, huh?
It's so good. It's a perfect ending.
Yeah, great.
It takes only 10